Hello, everybody. I'm doing the final rundown on my level 30 monk fighter, uh, two-handed great axe user. And I'm making this video mostly just to show, obviously the end stats and everything else and whatever gear I'm using and stuff like that. But I also wanted to go into explaining I guess the big difference on this build between Legendary Dreadnought and Fury of the Wild Epic Destinies. Now, m most of my videos are not gonna be doing a lot of in-game combat or stuff like that. So if you want to see all action all the time right now, close off the video. I'm not gearing it towards that. We're just doing a rundown and showing that stuff. I kind of ran this as a guinea pig character to see what was going to happen. Like I enjoy the some of the math uh, aspects of the game at this point more than making characters. I guess to just go run and play with. So that's my disclaimer. So first thing is I'm gonna open up the character sheet and we'll go through all the things first, all the stats and everything like that first. And I guess the second disclaimer is I'm not here to brag or show off. This is only on my main character, showing the difference between the two epic destinies and I guess the build. Now it doesn't mean you couldn't start this as uh, a lesser, even if you were on a heroic character, your stats would be significantly lower at the end. If you didn't have tomes and all the other associated crap that DDO has been overpowering people with for the last couple of years, but it doesn't mean that you still couldn't do it. What I have found is almost any of the builds that you do as a first life character versus a whatever life I'm on character are still pretty much relevant, but you got to play smart. So that's the secondary disclaimer, not showing off, just showing, I guess, some things that are possible. This character was again starting out with a specific intention of doing over 75,000 points of damage on a critical hit, either from adrenaline shot in Fury of the Wild or from the legendary Dreadnought tree. And as a continuation, I have found that it's got to be Fury of the Wild. Because right now, according to what I did during the last week and a half, it's about a 25,000 point swing in the potential damage that you could do. So stats first. Don't worry about all that if you're trying to do it. On this character, I maximize strength. This is a half orc, so I could start at 20 on it. I believe my constitution was a base, it still says a base 18. Rest of points, I don't even know what I did. Two maybe to dex, and the rest into wisdom because I knew I was going into monk. 10 and 10. Excuse me, but that's on a legendary build. Heroic, I would stick with constitution and max strength, whatever you could get out of here. You get that con to 16 or 17 and 18, do it. I'm not focusing on most of the monk moves or abilities. I'm just trying to go after big raw damage number on a crit. 20. So I did all that, like, whatever. Feats along the way. Um, Boy, I hate all this. I hate looking through it. Not special feats. Monk. We're trying to get that monk. The Sun Stance third tier is what gives you another critical damage multiplier on attack rolls of 19 or 20. So you're trying to get all of the stances for the on the monk side up to that point. I went into as high as Grandmaster of Forms on this one, and I just did it because I thought that the bonuses maybe were going to be, a little bit better than some of the other choices. You don't have to do that if you don't need to. You could do something else. Maybe grab another toughness or something else. So all of these are the monk feats that are coming up, and DDO has placed them in their nice little categorized area now under monk feats. On the martial side, I did take cleave, power attack, improve critical slashing weapons, and weapon focused slashing weapons. I think that's as high as I went on that. I also took, if I can even find them in here, what did it say? Combat styles. All three of the greater or the two-handed fighting, improved two-handed fighting, and greater two-handed fighting. These feats are giving you melee power. And I think I went over that in a earlier video. Did I even take toughness? I don't even know. Where would that be? God only knows. Is that a racial feat? No. Half orc. Range? Nope. It's not a range. I did take quick draw. This is a feat that is giving you not only for your throwing weapons, uh, it's it's letting you redraw your weapons quicker after casting or spell-like abilities, limiting the delay between casting and attacking. Supposedly, this is helping if I switch off axes or whatever. But later on in the game, right now, it's very rare that I put down the Riftmaker. So that's what I'm using with the specific intent of keeping that crit multiplier as high as possible. The Riftmaker still has a ×4 on its multiplier in comparison to a ×3. In the last week, I have shifted off from the new Torn axe, which is available in Barovia, because I noticed that even though the base damage multiplier is higher, I'm still not getting the same damage numbers as I had with my old axe. So this axe, that doesn't mean that it's bad. I slotted it with 2 Rubies of Endless Night, uh, and the insight, the uh, it's meddling, and the damage rating is rated at 85.25. This is actually a good axe for uh, the legendary Dreadnought tree, and I'll explain that a little bit later. It's because you're still not getting the highest highest critical hit that you can get, you're kind of like doing the hit point snowplow thing. And that's just something I noticed between the two destinies. I will explain that later once we get past the rest of the breakdown on this. And I guess the last little thing I was gonna say is I am all in on offense on this. Um, I just threw defense to the wind. I don't or I haven't been recently even specking tunes to be anything else than what they are. If I was gonna go for the highest crit that I could possibly get out of this character and this build, that's what I was going for. I just say fuck everything else. Oop, pardon my French. So on my past lives, I did take enchant weapon. Those are up here in the upper right hand corner. They're active. The double strike from the martial feat 3 times. Brace is a divine feat. Uh, just something I guess I couldn't take, divine power over life and death in that slot. It's like, well, what else do I want to do there? Nothing. So this does help my defense a little bit or whatever. Physical resistance per stack. And I took fast healing from the primal past life. I think I only have it 1 time. That's just to help, heal during the quest. Nothing big there. Iconic past lives again. Have the purple dragon knight thing slotted down here. And those are my racial past lives right now at this point. 3, 6, 6. Half elf is done. Half orc will be done after this. Playing on TRE probably next Sunday. I'm going back to working on my racial things. Uh, Epic Destiny is the Divine Sphere because I had that done. I took Holy Strike and I did take Defiant Warding. Um, don't ask me why. I'm in the Scion of Arborea for the melee power. I like working on melee power. I could have probably taken a lawful damage type here too for one of these feats, but I just didn't. I didn't do it. In the martial sphere, first blood, and then what else? Blinding speed. Am I supposed to worry about epic defensive fighting right now? No, no, I don't have that active. I did. God, if you read this thing, it's a competence bonus to maximum hit points. Uh, Increased by 5%, max 25%, for each of the combat style feats that your character has chosen. But then on the drawback, it says mostly this hurts ranged. I should have this active right now. Not even look into it. Jeez, what am I doing? Being a bonehead. Uh, Two-handed fighting, the improved, the greater, and the perfect means is 20% right now. Uh, More hit points. So maybe I'll just slot it right here. Who cares? And then I'll just activate it because it looks like the range power gets nerfed on it. My hit points jumped to 1593. I don't know what else I lose. What do I lose? Nothing. Um, I didn't. Sorry, I didn't go into that yet. So I wasn't ready for prepared for that during this video, but who cares right now at this point? Overwhelming critical and epic toughness I did take for another 50. Another 50 hit points. Just trying to make sure we got all that done. Oh, it's special feats. Yeah, Blessing of Feather, Coin Lords, Finishing School, whatever. Draconic Vitality, those will come from doing quests in the game. Marshall, yeah. Cleave, slashing power. Okay, I think we're done here. Next phase is Epic Destinies. I took, I went into Fury of the Wild and then I briefly switched over to Legendary Dreadnought just to see what the big damage was or the most that you could do. Now, and I'm not going to go out on a limb and say, well, that one's better than the other for a melee or whatever. But I noticed in game that the adrenaline shots with unbridled bridled fury is a way more incredible amount. Um, in comparison, my highest hit in the legendary dreadnought was around 16,000. If it double striked, yeah, that's 32,000. Now, what was more common was around 10 to 13 thousand K. And in comparison, when I flopped over to Fury of the Wild and used Adrenaline Strikes, which is down here, and the rest of my clickies, I have registered these kinds of things. What did I do? I just put it in there. I put it in there in guild chat. This is just a training dummy down here, which acts like a held mob. But this is a 45k just on which I've done in Quest before. Was not quick enough to copy and paste to my bio. Now, I didn't get to 75k on it, but that number is significantly higher than what I was doing uh, in the legendary Dreadnought tree. Now, of course, in Fury of the Wild, you only get so many adrenaline overloads. These recharge. So it's not really that big a problem. But what the problem is the rest of your things. And charging Fury, unbridled Fury, during, in between shrines. It's not like with all of the casters and everything out there that do insta kills and other characters that do insta kills. Sometimes you make it in between shrines with nothing left over here on your haste boost or your power surge from the fighter. And your fury's up to like 8 stacks. You're 2 away from going nuts. And you got a shrine anyway just to reset. So it's a little bit different play style. And you got to time your hits. But the damage is significant. Very significant. Like it's a joke. So I guess that's why I say Legendary Dreadnought, it's not. I lose 2 on the critical damage multiplier on 19s or 20s because you can't slot Devastating Critical or Headsman's Chop uh, in your Twist of Fate. but it's common. You don't have to worry about all these clickies down here to time strikes, and it's more like more frequent that you can get 10k, 13k, or whatever. So I wasn't gearing towards this, even though my critical damage multiplier is 1, 2 less. It's probably around 7 right now. So doesn't mean that this is bad. And down here on the Twist of Fate, I have, because I'm in Fury, slotted in Purge the Wicked. Now this I swap out. It's a +2 to confirm critical hits and critical damage. I swapped this out for Energy Sheath now with the new quest. I took extra action boosts. This is okay. Purge the Wicked is from the Divine Crusader tree. It's a tier 1. The next one, the extra action boost comes from Legendary Dreadnought tier 1. The improved power attack comes from tier 2 on Legendary Dreadnought. Now I'm just hovering over briefly. My two tier 3s are critical damage from Legendary Dreadnought. I could also swap it to Lay Waste because I got Cleave. No, I've been messing with that too. It's like if I want to do it or not. But my other tier 3 currently is Grim Precision from the Shadow Dancer tree. It's a 15% enemy fortification and 3% enemy dodge bypass. So that's it. On this, I just had to time better strikes. And I'll do it again here just to show if I can pop it. This is going to get annoying now if nothing goes through. And you might have to wait. The whole reason behind hitting the haste boost first, and I don't know if it works on Power Surge, is what I got slotted in the Riftmaker. I'll hover over the Riftmaker to show at the bottom the 5 tiers of the Sentient Gem. And it's Prowess. 5th tier of Prowess gives you a 75 bonus when you use an action boost to your melee power. So, like I said, I was all in on offense on this. I was trying to get that melee power up to use the fighter strikes, deadly strike, and a good death, and opportunity attack to hit big numbers. Time it. Something's not working right now. Do I have power attack on? Yes. There's an adrenaline overload for 30. And again, it's on the training dummy who thinks that it's held right now. There's a 36.9. And a 6,200 at the end there, but the haste boost had worn off. So yeah, a different style of play, but I guess that's going to be pretty much the rundown, except for gear. For gear, I am wearing two sets from Barovia right now. It's the Crypt Raider set and the Mists set. It's all an attempt to get, as much wicked offense as you can possibly get. The 5 items are, I think, all on the bottom here. It's the Bracers of the Fallen Hero, Cursed Bane Ring. I'd probably slot this out. This is my highest Constitution item that I have right now, the Cursed Bane Ring. I slotted a gem, a +7 in it. So my hit point total probably isn't as high as what, Uber Gamer is. The legendary Flightfoot Greaves. I like this item. Speed and freedom of movement. Natural armor, reflex. There is another set of gloves out right now. I slotted a diamond and charisma in here so that I could get better UMD to help other buddies out or whatever if I had to cast scrolls or whatever. It is a drawback on this character. You're not working up your charisma. And then I just threw in the Death Warden. I'm not sure if healing lore is helping out the monk move, Path of Harmonious Balance or not. So that's like unconfirmed for me. I didn't work on that. And what is this? This is the braided cut cord, and this is part of the Silent Avenger set. So that's not Mist. All the Mist stuff is here. Invisible Cloak of Strahd, Silent Avenger set again, and Storm in a Bottle. I use it just because I don't have another trinket that would go in that slot. And I like the dodge on it. So 20% enhancement bonus to dodge. The last part of the Silent Avenger set is the Disciple of Dawn. And this is still workable. I think there's still better armor for monks if I was going to stay up here. Who knows? Visions of Precision. This comes from the one of the raids in Shavrath, DOJ. It's only giving a 12 enhancement bonus to Wisdom base, Enhanced Key, and Insightful Wisdom. So it's a +16 for my Wisdom, even though I'm not really focused on the monk. I should have opened up enhancements to get this video over with, but I'm tier 5 Kensai all the way. And that's for all these moves. And a competence bonus to critical threat range with your focus weapons. All in on Greataxe. Lastly, Raging Crush. I use it a lot because it's guaranteed to be a critical hit from the half-orc tree. Was that 44, 25, and my last 13 was to go in to get Lighting the Candle. And the uh, two things the two that I have slotted to weaken other enemies for fire or for lightning. I use that strike in conjunction with the Storm in the Bottle. It works great on Baba. I don't know. I just dumped whatever the other 13 there. Did not go into the power rage because I'm not a rage character. in terms of the gear up here, some of these items I could swap out, but I like to do bonus damage on 20s. Like I like the Thunderstruck ability from this lower level Pen of the Storm Reaver. I like the Dragon Mask for another 2 to 12 negative damage. I want to slot or take out these gloves if I find a different pair that does another damage type. I wonder if that's part of the defensive fighting that's messing me up. Anyway, I am going to end the video here because I think that's enough for the rundown on the Fighter 12 Monk 8. And I think the last point I wanted to make was you could flip this if you want. You can make this a 12 Monk 8 fighter and still go into the Kensai tree. And you would also gain probably that fast movement clicky or whatever it is, abundant step. What would you lose? You would lose your power surge from the fighter. So just some things to keep in mind if you were trying to do something. Another 38-4. Man, I can't get the big hit tonight. Anyway, I'm ending the video. Thank you for the rundown and the time. Enjoy your DDO tour.